What's the best piece of advice you've ever been given? And what is it that you'd like to share with the stewards? The best piece of advice you've ever been given. I think, Ryder, I might start with you if you wouldn't mind starting us off. And I'm going to set a timer for 2 minutes or 1:30, just to let you know. I'm going to unmute when it's 10 seconds left. So that's sort of your visual indicator that you have 10 seconds left, and then we'll pass around.
This is my second meeting back at TEC, and it's the second time I've gone first. So was there two?
We're really happy to see you. That's why.
There you go. Was there 2 parts to the question or just one? Okay, a piece of advice I've been given. The first thing that came to mind was slow down, like being given that advice. And I think something about being given the advice to slow down, you can take it graciously and you can listen, or it's so easy to speed up and not hear when that's being. So, it's like, it can sound sort of luxurious, like, oh, someone asked me to slow down, and then I listened, and I don't remember what I did the first time, but however many times I've heard that in however many different ways, like slow down, or can you pause, or hey, that hurt my feelings, and then it turns out retrospectively I should have slowed down before I said that thing or gave that feedback or whatever. It's something that now it's one of those pieces of advice that I almost don't want to ask first. I just want to say, like, hey, you might want to slow down, It's like it gets a pass because in some of the, like, more dominant cultures that be, it's just fast, urgent. And, like, we need those moments. We need those moments of urgency sometimes. I mean, like, Santi is, like, caring for his family, and there's moments of urgency and, like, response. But then, like, how do we, like, care for ourselves enough to be able to slow down and see more perspective during the other times?
Check. Do you want to pass? Maybe I'll pass to Chewy.
Yeah. Oh, I can pass it. I'm going to pass it to Septimus.
Oh, thanks, Ryder. Yeah, I think the best piece of advice I give to people normally is like move and do sport and eat healthy. I always do that to everyone that I appreciate. Yeah, I think I do not give much advice to people, but yeah, that's probably the best one. I'll pass it to Edu.
Septimus, it was asking what piece of advice you've been given.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mine was the same, so I told that tue, but yeah, what's something you've been given?
Oh, yeah, probably Sam telling me, like, engage with the communities in, Sam engaging with crypto communities. Yeah, that's probably the best. I learned a lot from Sam. And yeah, I'll pass it to
Edu. Yeah, Sam. I love that one. The best piece of advice. My dad, when I came out to him, he said to me, even if it came from a weird space, but he said to me, do whatever you want as long as it makes you happy, because by the time that you have the consequences of your actions, I will be under the ground and I won't care. So why do you care about my opinion? So do whatever you want as long as you're happy. So yeah, that was quite of a strong advice, but it was quite liberating coming from him, who was a guy who had no emotional intelligence. So that was really nice from him. And I will pass it on to Nate.
Thanks, Edu. Yeah, I guess I've got, I don't know, it's tough. I've gotten 2 pieces of advice that always stuck with me. The first one is learn to give more than you expect to receive. I think that's just a great mental model that I've adopted in my life. And then the other one is kind of, it's actually, I learned it when I was in Bible study a long time ago, and it stuck with me for a long time. It was everyone knows something that you don't know, therefore everyone can be your teacher. And so just remind yourself that everybody has value, and everybody you encounter has something to offer, and to make sure that you're listening at that time. So those two things have been very, very valuable in my life, and so I really appreciate those impacts. But I will pass it to Wonka.
Yeah. One of the best advice I've received is to not speak when there are no ears to hear. Like that we should choose where and who we communicate to, and if people is not wanting to hear us, it's better to make silence and not to waste our energy in different situations and scenarios. I will pass to Marco.
Can you pass it to someone else that's just changing the room and switching to the other room here?
To Libby then.
Thank you. There's one piece of advice that Tim gave me actually that has been resonating a lot with me lately. Maybe I reworded it, because when you said the other day it was something different, but what stuck for me was, when you are afraid or when you don't want to face a situation, look at it in the eye, go there and eat it. And that was so important for me. Like, I actually used that advice so many times in the past few weeks. So yeah, I'll pass to Chewy. Or was it Chewy that couldn't go now? Oh, Chewy.
Thank you, Libby. I have received many good advice in my life, but I was just remembering about this one yesterday. It's been resonating a lot in the past few months, and it was 11 years ago when I first went to film school. I had a teacher that I had a huge admiration for. He was Tony Adler, and he was the first assistant director for American Beauty, which is like always like a movie that I've always enjoyed a lot. And one time, like, he like asked me to the side of a class, and he told me that, you know, like, around here, like in the school and around the teachers and everyone, you're always gonna listen to this bullshit story about making your way up. Like, you gotta be on set making coffee for the next 5 years if you want to, like, get to you know, be an assistant of an assistant of an assistant or something. And it's like and he was like, yeah, screw that. If you believe in something, and you always believe in a vision, and you want to direct it, or you want to produce it, or you want to make coffee for it, that's what you should always be pushing for, because it's what's gonna, like, fill you and make you happy. And I remember I started. It's tough to make decisions like that in film and music, but in the end, it takes you, like, to what you like. So it has resonated a lot lately because of the DAO space. So it makes a lot of sense here. So yeah, I'll pass it to I think back to you, Tam, or Marko. Maybe if Marko's ready.
Yeah, I'm ready now. Apologies, because I'm in a kids' room here. I had to change the room. Everything is super busy here. School is at home, you know, so I get kicked out of the room. Yeah, like Joey, I've been given many advices. One that I think, like, comes first is never react to anything, or try not to react to anything. And whatever you do that peacefully. So whatever I do in my life, I try to, like, being calm in any situation and making decisions with the, you know, inner peace. That's kind of that's something that I look for before I make any choices or any decisions, and I try not to react to anything because your heart starts pumping, and that's not a good sign. You're not calm. So yeah, I mean that's the one that came from top of my head right now. And who's not gone yet? Santi?
Santi?
Thank you, Marko. I've gotten many advices also, but probably the one that I think of the most is after college I went to an MBA and I had this teacher. I was working for a company, just as any regular person who goes to college and their degree and starts working. And he said, just every once in a while, take a seat, look what you're doing, and follow your dreams. And if you don't like what you're doing, just quit. And I guess I followed his advice. I quit 3 times, and I finally established on my own. And that's probably the best advice you can give to anyone on the work life, on the professional life, and on the real life. Just focus on what's really important for you, and no matter if it takes hard, it's not gonna be easy. But I mean, you live once, and the older you get, the sooner you realize life it goes away. So whatever you want to do, just do it. And you will make mistakes probably, but you will learn from those mistakes, and at least it will be your mistakes, not someone else's. That's my piece of advice that I got, and I've been trying to follow it. I don't know who's missing here. Back to you, Tam.
Sure. Well, Dirkidas, you just joined us, and we have an intro question today. What is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Best piece of advice or best guidance? I'm not sure.
As you wish. What you feel makes more sense to you. Sorry, you just jumped in and we threw a question at you.
So yeah, I guess the best thing and the way I kind of live my life is that everything that you do, your own dealing with your own self or trying to get into spiritual life or with society, all of it is kind of subversive. It's subversive of your identity, subversive of your belief in your own thoughts, and I think I got that from Neil Postman, from teaching as a subversive activity. It was this idea of subverting it all, neti neti, which is a Advaita Vedanta principle that tells you to examine whether you're your body or your mind or your thoughts or all these things. And then that coupled with the experience that I've had that none of those things are true, has reinforced this idea that I should look at everything in this kind of subversive manner, So that's why I hang out with all you guys, because that's what you're all doing. So anyway, so thank you.
Cool. And Griff, you're just jumping on, but our intro question today is, what is the best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Don't become a coder. It's the best advice I ever got. I got this master's degree in digital currency, and I was disappointed that I didn't have any technical tools after it. And then and so I asked a buddy if I should just go take some coding boot camps or whatever, and he said, "Nah, you should just go, you have other skills. You're never gonna compete with the 20-year-olds that are gonna be always better than you. So go be Griff and do an internship somewhere." And then I interned with Slockit in the DAO. So I'll pass it back to you, Tam.
Cool. And I am the last one to go. And I like the way Chewy told the story. So I've been thinking, like I had the most time to think about this. I feel a little lucky. But I was going through all these different ones and I find the one I want. And it's something that really impacted me. It's when I was 13 years old. We were driving from the city. We were going to a horse farm in New Jersey. And my dad just pulled over, like we paid the toll. My dad pulled over the New Jersey Turnpike and just got out of the car and came around and was like, drive. And I was just like, what? Like, me? Like, it's crazy, So I started driving and I kept looking at the rear view mirror and he just turned it around, like, so I couldn't see it anymore. And I panicked, I was freaking out. It's like, I can't. And he's like, you're not going that way. He's like, that's behind you. You're not going that way. And I was just, I was like, but I was caught up in the moment. But like years later, I kept thinking, that's behind me. I'm not going that way. And it became this analogy for like so many things in my life. It's like, just keep going. Like that's behind you. That's in the rear view mirror. Just turn it out of the way so you can't see it anymore. So I really liked that. I also liked, I have 20 seconds left. My dad was kind of like this Brooklyn badass kind of guy, so like I visited him in Brooklyn and we were standing on, he's going to walk me to the train for me to take the train back into the city. And he lights a cigarette. And this was like one of the last times I saw him. And I was like, no, you can't do that now. And he sort of looked around and he was like, who's going to stop me? And I just remember being like, that's where I get it from. I'm like, now I know why I'm this way. Okay, time's up. So, cool. This is our very first offboarding ceremony. And, I want it to be honor and love and respect and all the things that we endear so much. So we have a tiny little presentation. First, it's like, I think it's worth all of the stewards just sort of remembering that we're developing this new sort of life cycle of a steward. The onboarding, and we have a ceremony when we onboard, and then we're going to have this sort of like monthly stipend that we receive as we continue to do like the stewardship of the TEC. And then there's like this offboarding process too, and it should just be like natural cycles like life, like seasons, like the tree sprouts leaves and they turn brown and then they fall, or they turn these like magnificent yellow and red flowers and then fall, and it should just sort of be natural and a beautiful thing, actually, when we come into this role and when we exit the role, too. So we have created this little montage of the 6 people who are offboarding in this cycle. So Katy and Jess and Sam weren't able to join us. Sam wants to have a party and wants to offboard it, but he refuses to do it until the Commons upgrade. So I have invited myself to Barcelona to celebrate with him his offboarding. And if anyone wants to join us in Barcelona, please come. I think that's when we have the offboarding for Sam. And Craig is just finished the conference, ETH Portland, and has some community events that he's sponsoring today, so he wasn't able to join us either. But thank you, Santi and Marko, for being here. I guess before we get started, I'm going to pass to Livia to do the rest. She put so much work together in bringing up the highlights for everybody. I just want to announce one thing. So we are the stewards of 2021, the original OGs of the TEC, so to speak, and we created this POAP that all of the 2021 stewards will receive. So you will always have a memory of being one of the original stewards in the TEC. And this is I'm gonna send this out to everyone today. So everyone that was offboarded still deserves this badge of honor. And I think it's really important that we all have it. And next year, we'll probably have another one. So maybe now we were thinking the format for this might be Livia can go through these stewards and some of the highlights, and then we give maybe everyone in the room a chance to speak, and then Marko and Santi can close us off. Does that sound good? All right, Livia, shall I pass to you?
Yeah, thank you, Tim. My computer is very slow, but I hope the sharing will work well. So yeah, first I just want to give a word about stewardship and and how he feels, even quite emotional this time, because we put so much thought and on how we were thinking that the stewards would work like, or how the working groups would be formed. In the beginning, we had just like some, I don't know, little ideas about, oh, we might need this working group, that working group. But then things just started spinning off, and people started to jump in and take ownership of things, and be truly engaged, and take this community to a whole other level that is really touching. And I feel very, very grateful for the stewards that we are offboarding today, because it's also, it feels like this movement of a cycle. Many of you are this first cohort of stewards, and it's beautiful to see the movement that we have too, and how things evolve, and how we can move on in a very grateful and beautiful way. So starting with Craig, I hope he can watch this recording after, but Craig and Santi actually shared the title of the first steward to volunteer in the TEC. They were both in the first call that we did for opening up for stewards. So we had a few community calls before, and then we had this one call that was more like open for the community. Here are the working groups, come, like hands-on. And then Craig joined, and I was so surprised that he said he wanted to be a steward, because we opened that question like, who wants to be a steward? And it seemed so many responsibilities for not so much that we could offer at that time. And he was so excited, and he was like, yes. And now talking to him, he was like, oh, I remember you onboarding me in Egypt. And then he just passed a movie of that first conversation, and this very co-creative process of what a stewardship was going to be like, especially because Craig wasn't available to lead a working group. So it was also this understanding what that meant at the time. So Craig was an absolute spreadsheet and impact hour hero. He documented so many things of this process. He put all of the impact hours list every 2 weeks. He would update how many members we had, how many new people had received praise, look into the spreadsheets from Common Stack and the Trusted Seed, and coordinate with so many people. So he did a lot of work that was unseen and on the background, and he really brought us to an organized place that was very, very, very valuable. And then later on, Craig started writing, and we were like, where was all those skills before? He wrote in such a fun way, and it was so engaging to write, to read his stuff. And he contributed to many blog posts. So if you're curious, you can go look at the things that Craig wrote that are really awesome. So Craig, thank you so much for your presence and for your work and for your energy. And we really appreciate you. And the doors are always open for you to come back, and for everyone, of course. And Marko, who's this handsome guy? I love this picture. I got most of the pictures in the stewards chat. There's so much good stuff there if you all want to browse around it. Marko was like the savior at a point. Like, he came in for the rescue. It was a moment that we were like, oh my God, the whole comms working group is like going ungoverned. How can we do? Who can we call in? And Griff thought about Marko. Griff can talk more about that. But I think it's because Marko is a very reliable person. And even not knowing you so much, it shows in all your actions. And I really appreciate that. And I think all of us were like, oh my God, yes. And Marko created all the TEC style up to this date. So all the color guides, the dashboard, the website, all the visual identity, everything. This is like an immense amount of work that shaped our identity and that helped so much us to communicate what is the TEC without having to speak. And then sometimes that we didn't even have words, that we were looking for everything. So you came in, comms, organized so many people, helped contributors to jump in, and created all of these amazing visuals that we have. Griff, do you want to share a little bit?
I mean, obviously, Marko has been critical to everything. Like our whole brand identity, as you said, is Marko's creation. And I remember when he made this awesome picture of a person with a backpack, and there's like a TEC graffiti on the wall. I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. You know? Like, and it just encompassed this like raw, like, it's like, yeah, you know, we're ragtag graffiti. We're I don't know, the vibes, you know, not only does the designs come with the vibes and and he brings that through so well with his skill, but then also just coming in and when we were in need, you know, Jess had, we were in a transition and comms didn't have a working group lead. And, you know, it's like, who do we call? You know, as Marko came through, and then eventually it was like so much work. And Marko's got other full-time gigs. You know, he's all over the ecosystem, and it's almost it's just not his. He produces, you know, and also is a great manager, but it wasn't the place. And so when we finally got Chewy in to relieve him, it was Marko was so happy because being a working group lead is not as glamorous as it looks sometimes, you know. So Marko got to fit back into the magic maker that he is, and still contributes to TEC when he can. And I'm sure will always, even if he doesn't want to come to calls and try to be a steward to like stay up to date with all the boring bureaucracy that we have. You know, he's always down to bring in awesome superstars like Rodri, who's been coming in and help manage, and I'm sure support us continuously. So, yeah, I mean, obviously Marko will be around a lot, and really was a hero when he stepped up for us. I'll pass it back to you, Olivia.
Thank you. And I just want to add that you're so eloquent, Marko, and this really stands out too. When you're speaking, like you don't speak so much so often, but then when you speak, there's something very eloquent and important and perceptive that you're sharing, and you participate in so many of the decisions and everything that we put around. So it feels like you're always very present, even when you're away or that you're not showing up in calls or all that. So I really appreciate you as a community member and all you're doing for us and you jumping in for the rescue. Thank you. And moving on to Jess. So Jess isn't here today, but I think it's great to celebrate her presence in the TEC because it was also such a foundational part of so many things that we did and places that we arrived. Jess initiated the comms working group and led the creation of so many of our comms platforms like Twitter and Discourse, and helped producing the website and wrote introduction articles to the TEC about the TEC, explainer pieces, and she made Praise Giving that was a successful event, and it was so much fun, and brought in Gary to play some music for us, and Jess in general always brought this warmth and this community feeling for the TEC that is something I think we all appreciate a lot, at least all of the people that were around when she was more active, because it was very caring. And I think this is something that helped us to bring more of this caring energy to the community. So we're also really grateful for all the work Jess did and continues to do in other ecosystems and bringing the word about the TEC in other places, and for all the fun graphics that she created and event promotions and all that she did while she was the comms working group lead. So thank you, Jess, for everything. And again, this for every steward is a matter of not being available right now, but that the doors are always open. And passing to Santi. So as I was saying, Santi was also the first steward to jump in our open call, and I'm particularly very grateful for Santi because he gave me so much strength to start SoftGov. We did a little grouping of the people who would stay in each working group, and there was not so many people that were interested in SoftGov at that time. And then Santi gave as his first option SoftGov, and he came to all the meetings and he always gave his opinions, and that was so important for me. It gave me a lot of confidence and strength to keep going with the meetings and to keep bringing more people. And then we had this problem. We had the most annoying working group to deal with, that was legal. And we knew since the beginning that would have to happen at some point. And we're like, oh my God, but who's gonna take that? Who will want that? Who wants to volunteer to that? And then I remember Griff and I having a talk one day, and we were like, do you think Santi would take it? Let's talk to him. And then Santi did, and he made it so much fun. And then I loved it going to the legal meetings. It was always like we had this philosophical reflections about the nature of this transition period we are with legislations and stuff, but also very hands-on. There was so much work done in this legal calls, like everyone working together, a lot of focus. And Santi was very on top of everything. I remember we had so many lawyers at some point, and Santi was like always asking the great questions that sometimes I would be like, ooh, he's going there, he's asking that. So it was really inspiring to have you in that leadership, Santi. And you are so sweet, and you are so attentive and caring with everyone, and you collaborate with so many working groups, and you have a really extensive knowledge of the TEC, and you put so much work developing our SourceCred instance. And I think that was also very in the background, and you were just always giving your attention and your critical opinion to so many important tasks. So we're really, really, really grateful for you.
I just want to note that we have 20 minutes. So if we want to give everyone like 1 or 2 minutes to also share, we're going to have to conserve time to do that.
Okay, I'll move quick because Katy and Sam are here. But yeah, Katy is a superstar. She really has a very genuine enthusiasm and charisma that I think quickly shifted so many dynamics that we had in the TEC. She brought our onboarding to another level, created so many ways for people to join, and contacted infinite people one-on-one. And she was the HCC hero. She let so many people in. She was doing all the work. She was running around all the time. And she's an amazing writer and critical thinking, and wrote so many TEC blog posts. And she's the author of the name Comunitas. Thank you. Thank you so much, Katy. We miss you. And Sam, what would be of the TEC without Sam? I don't think we wouldn't even be here. Sam contributed both to the TEC and the soul of the TEC, and we are so grateful for that. It's really inspiring to sneak peek into Sam's mind and to see all of the perspectives he looks into things. It's very holistic, and it's I think it's beyond words how much that can do for the tech. To have being such a cultural and community oriented organization, having Sam and all his wiseness and wizardry with this such huge human and sensible side into the tech will probably reflect so much on the future of how all our products are built. And this is really amazing. And Sam always contributed thoughtfully and carefully to important discussions in all fronts. He's a true gem. Thank you. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone. And I'll pass back to you, Tim.
Well, I think now we open the floor, and I'll set the timer for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, just to let you know when the time's up. But we also want to make sure we leave time for both Marko and Santi. So actually, maybe we start with Marko and Santi. Hey, that way we sure they have time. All right, Marko, I know you're actually like an shy extrovert. So why don't you, share your thoughts and your feelings? And no, I don't know. I just feel so much love for you right now.
Sure.
And you too, Santi, but yeah, you got the floor.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say like this offboarding experience is amazing. And thank you all a lot for like making this experience, like this presentation, talking about everybody. It really touched me, hearing about Jess and Santi and Craig and everybody else, like memories. But yeah, what to say? For me, even though I've been called, in a need to jump in here, I first was really refusing this role, at first because I was, had so much work to do, and I knew, taking responsibility for me means, really taking on that responsibility, completely, and everything that goes along with that. And so I was really hesitant at first, but I knew I had to do that. And I'm thankful to everybody, and to Griff that was pushing me actually to do that, and Jess as well, because the greatest thing that I got out of that is getting to know you, amazing people. Even though we didn't get a chance to meet in real life, and sorry I missed the ECC conference, but I'd love to hug you all, like really, and I'm gonna do that most probably soon when we meet somewhere. But yeah, just getting to know you because you are the true value. You are amazing, and that's the greatest thing that I got out of this. Of course, I learned a lot of stuff. I learned a lot of from legal that I attended just a little bit, and for soft gov, and how we set all this up, and from all the working groups, it was amazing. But again, you people are the greatest value that I got out of this. I will keep supporting TC, of course, as much as I can. Obviously, I'm gonna not take any greater responsibilities in that sense, but I'm always here for you. Whenever you need something, ping me. If I can, I will say yes. If I can't, I will say no. But I'm here. I'm here. I'm not going away. I'm gonna stay in the Discord. I'm gonna stay here everywhere. I'm like the omnipresent person, I guess. That someone told me that. I think it was Marina. Marina, you know her from Slovenia. She's also in legal, and she was like, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago. Said, Marko, every Telegram group, every Discord, wherever I go, I see you. You were there. How do you manage that? And I was like, well, it's just part of my nature. I just want to learn as much as possible and meet new people. So that's who I am. Anyway, I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm going to pass it over to Santi. I just want to say thank you all for this experience. It's been amazing. And yeah, I'm here. And also one more thing. One more thing. Special kisses and hugs go to Chuy, who came in at the right moment and took over. And it took him like maybe week and a half or two, to get an overview of everything and like release me from my duties. and did such an amazing job, better than I would ever do. So thank you a lot, Chewy. You're a great steward for the comms. Thanks a lot. Santi, go ahead.
Thank you, Marco. Well, I'm just going to repeat many of the things that here we go, that Marco said. First of all, thank you for giving me the opportunity to join. I'm never going to forget that very first meeting where Angela, Grief, you, Lily, and Jess were there saying, who wants to be a steward? Who wants to be a contributor? Who wants to be a subject matter expert? And I was going, I just don't know what the hell I'm doing here. But it was great joining. I really don't know how the hell I got into that meeting, but I did, and everything changed from there. It was very nice joining and learning and meeting you all, and of course finally meeting you live in Paris was absolutely fantastic. And that's what I'm taking with me. I mean, I'm gonna be out initially for a few weeks. Hopefully, I might be able to start getting into some of the things that I've been doing in the past slower. But I'm not going anywhere. And I'd love to hang around back and get to know what's going on TEC. And what I value the most is all the people that I've met, all the human relations that I've had. I can assure you that having to take the responsibility of legal was a pain in the ass. But I hope I did as good as I could. Luckily, Marco was thanking Chewy. I gotta thank Sean because it was an angel joining at the right time and the right moment. I don't know what we would have done without him, and I thank him for all the work and all the time that he's put to finish some of those documents that are amazing. But again, just interacting with the other working groups. I remember Juan Carlos. He also was one of the ones joining self-governance early, and seeing how everything has been developing, and of course seeing the goal reach when we made 1.5 million was incredible, and I can't wait to see when everything launches and we upgrade and everything starts moving, slowly but moving. I'm gonna be involved. I'm gonna use my votes to vote. So you're gonna see me. I just need to, take a little time and focus on what's really important right now, and be able to come back and join more from an spectator and maybe get involved in some little things. But I wish to do so, and I am really thankful and happy to have had the chance to join and to meet you all and engage with the project. Back to you, Tam.
Cool. God, that was so wonderful to hear, both of you. Well, we have a few minutes left, and I'll start passing around. Set a timer for a minute and a half. Nate, would you like to kick us off?
Yeah, I'll keep it quick and keep it tight. I want to start off with Marko. I always look at Marko as kind of like my first boss. I mean, you were like you're the first person I ever collaborated with in the TEC, and honestly, I've worked like I've participated in other DAOs, but I've never contributed meaningfully. And Marko was just kind of like, you're gonna have to change the way you think about things. Like, you don't have to ask permission for everything. And so I'm always truly grateful for that type of advice that you gave me at the beginning of this and got me kind of settled in and participating. So I'm truly grateful for that, Marko. Craig, I can't say enough about Craig. I got to meet him with Griff in San Francisco, and it was great to talk to him about geology. And I hope one day we'll be able to start like some type of Web3 geology project together. It's great talking to you about AGU and stuff. Santi, there's not another person in this DAO that I relate more to. than Santi. Meeting you at ECC was absolutely phenomenal. It was just inspiring to see somebody who thought like I did and looked at the world like I did, and it was just absolute pleasure to work with you and meet with you. Jess, Jess was one of those people that I met at the very beginning, and it was just like, hey, this person actually genuinely believes in me as a contributor and thinks I can do this, and I'll always remember that. And then who else we got? We got Sim. I didn't get to meet Sim very often, but yeah. And then of course Suga, your energy brought me alive so many times. And I'll pass it to Zepti.
Thanks, Nate. Yeah, first of all, Marko, he's super cool. I mean, every time I was talking about anime, she was even sending me some videos of her kids, singing anime. It's so fun, and then we build this 48, and yeah, there's always good vibes. And Santi's like Nate said, it's so reliable, and Catalan crew, it's and actually he was telling me like, oh Seb, do you want to be steward? And I was like, I don't know, but he was encouraging me like, yeah, dude, you can do it, and you're going to have fun. So yeah, thank you so much, Santi. Sam, I have no words for Sam. I mean, we've been friends from some very long time, and I was doing my job as a content, and he was like, dude, skip that, come to me, you're going to learn politics and you're going to have fun, and yeah, that's what I've been doing, and I'm enjoying it a lot. Katy, I didn't have the chance to interact so much with Katy, but yeah, good vibes, and yeah, I didn't have the chance to interact so much. I don't know, I'm so nervous right now. And Craig, when I first joined the TEC, he was always telling me like, dude, you're joining so many calls, you should activate and start earning impact hours. And he was always, helping everyone to, not only me, but everyone who was joining the TEC at the beginning, he received a message from Craig. So yeah, he was a very onboarding person and very good vibes. And Jess, I also had, I really enjoyed with Jess. I was talking with her when we were starting in YouTube. She also my time. But she was trusting on me so much, and I really enjoyed work with Jess. And I'll pass it to Juan.
Yeah, I was searching for this book on my library, and this is something that I get from Katy. This is a book she wrote, and she gave it to us in Paris, and that means a lot. And I remember her daughter. She was really beautiful, and she also made a drawing of a heart to us, and that's very meaningful. From Sam, well, really, I understood bonding curves from a conversation we had in Barcelona drinking a cafe. So, I wasn't really sure about the bonding curve, and I was really struggling, but he explained it to me in a very easy way. And I find that with that conversation, that helped so much. And also, Sam, as well as Santi, were invited to Ethereum Colombia to give a talk, because they are so good at what they do, that it's great to have them talking to our community. And also, I remember being with Santi at the party at HCC, and he telling me something that it's really meaningful, that sometimes we can have a lot of things, but having a family is also really important, and that makes you realize like a human being. And yeah, that was really beautiful. And Mark and Jess, I love them, and Craig too. I haven't been so much related with Craig, but with Marco and Jess, I just have to say that their work was excellent, and the designs that Marco did for each working group, they just reflect each working group. I will pass to Tam.
Oh, I was going to let other people talk before me. I think I'm just going to take one moment to say that when I look at, when I look at everyone, the thing that stands out is compassion, humility, kindness, generosity, thoughtfulness. I'm blown away by everyone. And I'm going to pass to Zeptimus and maybe say a few more words at the end if there's time.
I already went. I'll pass it to Libby.
Yeah.
I talked too much already. I'll pass to Griff.
Yeah, this is a round. This is like 10 seconds per person. It's so hard. I mean, Sam is like a brother. He made conviction voting. He made it so that we could do the TEC. He is a token engineer and is so critical for everything that we've done. And really, just also, as Livia said, just an amazing human being with such wisdom, philosophical wisdom that he brings to everything that he does. Suga as well came in really strong to save the day on so much content and relieve all the stress. And just the best part with Suga was, of course, meeting her in person in Paris and her getting all of us in the door and just like breaking the rules for her family. It's like for her friends, and she really brought a family attitude. Santi stepped up huge, taking on the job no one wanted, the legal job, right? And he did it so well, and found the resources, the humbleness and humility to know what he can do and what he can't do and what he needs to. I don't think anyone in the TEC does it better than you, Santi. Just really knowing where you can excel and where you need help, and then getting the help and acquiring it. Incredible. Obviously, I got to talk about Marko and the wisdom that he brings to everything that he does here, and the leadership, just a natural leader. And it's just going to be, it would be hard for me to do any project without Marko, as far as I can see for the rest of my life. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but besides just continue to work with Marko on everything. Craig was a superhero behind the scenes. No one could understand how much work Craig was doing for everyone, and just being so welcoming. And Jess brought the vibe, right? This lovey-dovey attitude that we have in the TEC is her doing, and it's going to have ripple effects. All of their work will have ripple effects for the rest of the TEC's life. And did Eduardo, you still need to go, right?
Hello. Yeah. So for me, I'm gonna be quick, but for me, I remember after meeting Griff, he sent me to Craig, and Craig was the first person who I talked to, along with Jonas, and I don't know, I felt that shadowing Craig was really helpful, and he was always present in Hatch Outreach, in any form of shape, and for me that was very reliable, and that was really nice for a newcomer like me to have him all the time around. And also the same similar stuff with Jess. I felt that Jess was always like this cheerful personality, that she always has this kind semantics, I like to say, in the way she expressed herself, and it was really nice, the touch, this feminine touch she brought to a room full of kind of male bros kind of thing, and I love that. Back in December, there were not many females besides Livia and her, so it was so nice to have her also around and bring her energy. And then finally, Santi, he was the first person I met in real life. So I was along with Sam. That was really nice because I felt I was not working for a shadow company based on a weird spot in the, so that was really nice. So I have wonderful memories of these people, and I actually look forward to see them this Saturday. So thank you everyone for that.
Shuey, there's 1 minute left if you want to take it.
Oh my God, it's obviously not enough to just recognize the amazing superhero work. It's just I respect this Steward so much, and I'm very thankful with my life and everything that this change and integrating the TEC has brought. And I could have never achieved anything without the hard work of really educators and teachers like all of you guys. So thank you very much. I don't think I have enough time to praise individually your valuable contributions, but thank you for everything that you brought. I really love you guys, and yeah, hope to see you around.
Cool. So we are at the top of the hour, and exceptionally for those in Europe, where our community stewards call is going to start, what did I say? Our community call is going to start now. So I think we should hop over to the